Hey, what's going on? So, we're going to be going over Jinx. I'm a washed up challenger player, but I know pretty good stuff. This is on the October 9th patch, so if you are in the future, some of this information might be way outdated. Hopefully, it can still help you though. The best thing about Jinx is how strong her lockdown is. So when Jinx is playing, you can kind of just go into Gatling gun and just lock people down for a long period of time, especially when you tag someone else in. So when you tag someone else in kind of like this, you can kind of just keep shooting as Jinx on the side. See how I did that rocket delayed? That's one of the strongest things about Jinx is how plush she can make your other assist character. Another one of her huge strengths, and it's obvious because she's a zoner, she's really good at controlling space. Monkey controlling the ground and the Chomper controlling the ground is really strong on top of all of her projectiles, where she can control the air and the ground just by throwing stuff out. It forces your opponent to do something, and doing something means it can get punished. And then one of the other best things about Jinx is that she has a full screen punish when anyone presses anything. This laser just... You ever see anyone press something across the screen, you always have a one button super to punish them with. Now, one of the worst things about Jinx, she has very slow buttons that don't go very far. So when people are up in her face, it's kind of hard for her to get people off of her. Good news is her mobility is not slow, it's very moderate. So she's not slow in that aspect. Her backdash is more to be desired, but her other movement options are very decent. One of the other worst things about Jinx is that she doesn't have a cross up button, so no button she does hits the other side of an opponent. So if you ever jump forward, they can always just run under you, and there's really no threat on their side because you have zero cross up. Okay, now we're going to be talking about her best buttons. We're going to go from the best of the best to her other best. So if you've played her, you probably already know what her best button is. Her running 6M, a very unique move. The hitbox is incredible. It goes so far, and on top of all that, it's a low. So the bad thing about this button is that it actually does add scaling at the start of combos. So if you hit this button, it's like hitting an assist, you go straight to 80, or hitting a jab rather. It goes right to 80 right away, but it's such a good button to catch people out. Doesn't even really matter. Our next best button is jump medium punch. This thing has an incredible hitbox. You pretty much win any air to air when you click this, and then you can land with it as well. So you kind of just land with it and get a combo off of another medium punch if you're in range. It does go farther than her stand medium punch though, so sometimes that will happen, but the button just goes way too far. It's too good. Now, in my opinion, this is her third best button because of the utility. Her 3L is very, very good. It has the same startup as 5M, which is 11, but it goes farther. 3L is really good because if someone tries to approach you, you can stuff them almost every single time with 3L. I really love 3L, and the best thing about it, it's not only can you low profile with 3L and anti-air, you can kind of go past people. So if you see someone's about to run, you kind of just use it to like scoot past sometimes on some hitboxes. And that, you know, you either hit them or you go past them, and that's not bad, you know? Either way, you kind of get out of the situation, which is a struggle for Jinx because of her bad frame data. So one of Jinx's next best buttons is jump rocket, and not just normal jump rocket because it has like 55 frames of recovery, but if you use a rocket right before you land, you cut the recovery for one, where it's like only negative 22 or 24 or something like that. You pretty much cut the recovery in more than half, and then you get a quick rocket out where you can kind of follow it up by yourself. So air rocket is very good for that reason. The bad thing about air rocket is, one, there's a big execution barrier because you see these aren't even hitting Yasuo unless I really press it right before I hit the ground. But if you do it too late, you're not even gonna get the rocket in the first place, right? So there's definitely a sweet spot, take a little bit to get used to. And then the other bad thing about it is it won't hit most crouching opponents, and it won't even hit Teemo while he's standing, no matter how low you get it. I'm still saying this is one of her best buttons because if you're scared about them like level 3ing you, this is a very safe button to throw out. And then it covers the airspace too a little bit while also covering their grounded approach because they can't run, they have to crouch if they see that coming unless they're playing team up. The last button that I think is one of her best buttons is 2M. Now I know most people, when you think of good buttons on Jinx, you think of 5M. 5M is okay, but it's deceptive. It looks really good in training mode. In matches, she extends her hurt box forward with her leg, and on top of that, it does not go as far as other characters' buttons go. So you're kind of, this button's okay, but her 2M, so 2M's one, a really good whiff punish button because it's fast, and you can always press 2M into 5H. It always works. So every time you press 2M, you always want to go into 5H and a Gatling or something like that. But it goes really far, and it's a low at 9 frames. So if you ever try to throw somebody and they break it, you can actually just 2M them right after in the corner. And it's fast, it goes far range, goes farther than most people's jabs. So it's pretty fast, long range, and a low. So usually after throw breaks, you'll want to press 2M into 5H. However, that does not work mid-screen. As you see, it's a corner-only thing, and Jinx does go for throws in the corner a lot, which we'll talk about later. It is also one of her best whiff punishes because it's fast and, as you see, pretty reliable. All right, let's show some of her combos. I will be real, Jinx's combo structure is almost always the same. She has some hard combos, but they're not needed most of the time. So on it, all you really have to learn is the intermediate combos, but I'll show you them all to you. Jinx's combos that are really, really hard are with assists. And we're not really talking too much about assists today. So just know, if you're thinking about like the electric traps and stuff like that and using the chomper during combos, that's not used without assist usually involved. And that's when her combos start getting hard, but we'll show that a little bit later in the video. This is my most used combo. I'm just pointing it out there because you might think, oh, intermediate, I don't even have to learn those. This is actually my most used combo. Pretty much the same combo, but if your Chomper or Monkey ever hit, this is the combo you want to do. These are Jinx's hardest combos right here. They are really hard because the timing is not self-explanatory. I can't even really describe to you. You just kind of get a feeling for it. I wouldn't go for these in real games, but here you go. Getting this combo is so goddamn hard, dude. But we'll get it. We'll get it for the video. Speaking of, there we go. Wow, I just had to complain a little bit. We got it. Cool. So Jinx's hardest combos are actually with other characters. Meaning during other people's attacks, you tend to send out a Monkey and get that stun, or send out a Chomper and get that stun, or use her assist Chomper to go into a Monkey. And that type of stuff's her hardest combos. I'll show you an example, but her hardest combos have to do with other characters. Too close. So with Jinx, when people give you a moment, you want to throw out Monkeys and Chompers a lot. Monkeys, in my opinion, are better because by one, they do 120 when they hit you like that. And then also when you send out Monkey, you can press static on it and it'll blow up and shock people. You probably already know that, but I'm just saying just in case. My favorite setup, when I put down Monkeys, when I'm trying to zone people, I'll put down the Monkey and I'll do back gun and then cancel into Rocket, which gets the Monkey all the way across the screen, as you saw I hit Teemo there. The thing that's cool, so the back gun can only be canceled when it hits something. So when you have a Monkey down, it counts as a cancel. So if you hit that, you can cancel into rocket. I don't really like this setup with Jinx, but a lot of people do it, so it must be good. I'll show it to you. Kind of gets you across the screen pretty fast, and it anti-airs if people jump at you. You shock this, then you kind of just do that. And as you saw, it goes really far. Kind of leaves you open. It's kind of predictable if they know what the setup is, but people like doing that a lot. So Chomper takes a little bit longer to throw out at 55 frames instead of 50 frames on Monkey. I think Chomper's better when you get a hard knockdown. So if you get like this type of hit, you can kind of throw down a Chomper for Oki stuff. As you saw, it doesn't hit, but if I can hit Teemo into it right after, right? One thing bad about if you try to do Oki stuff with Chomper throwing forward, they might forward roll, but you can always cover it with a throw. A good time to use Monkeys and Chomper for Oki is in the corner. So this is like one of her famous enders, right? You kind of just do this, a hard knockdown. On that hard knockdown, you can throw down Monkey or Chomper, and there's two separate things you can do from those. So with Monkey, you can kind of set up a throw scenario. So you can kind of throw this down, do this, then go for a throw. As you saw, it blew up, so they try to punish the throw, they'll get hit. If they forward roll like you want, it looks like this. You get tag launcher, or you can, yeah, I recommend tag launcher because after a throw, your combo gets shorn a lot, so tag launcher is pretty good there. If they don't roll, you can just either grab them, they tech the throw, or the explosion kind of covers you if they try to jump. So it kind of just covers everything the Monkey does. Now the Chomper, it kind of just guarantees pressure. So just guaranteed pressure right there if they decide to just wake up in place. If they forward roll, it's a little harder to punish the forward roll. So as you saw in the forward roll, your punish is not as good. But if they stay in the corner, it's kind of better to put out the Chomper. Similar to like shooting the Monkey. If you throw out a Chomper, you can actually do your rocket jump forward. It goes with you, so it kind of covers the space in front of you if you want to go in when you throw out a Chomper. So if you want Chomper to go over wind wall, you can just do this into gun, and it goes right over the wind wall every time. Makes the opponent not really know what you're doing. It goes right over wind wall at full screen. So let's talk about Jinx's assist real quick. Jinx's back assist, the rocket, does 95 damage. It's a really high damage assist. So just one hit of this does a lot of damage if you get the actual hit. The beautiful thing about it is that you can actually use it and follow the rocket on every character in the game because it's a full screen assist. So they shoot it, you can kind of just run behind it as a way to like approach a little bit safer than most things. It keeps her stationary, so if you do decide to shoot the rocket, you kind of jump over people as a cross up already. So just like that, I'm in the air, not even close to them, I get a cross up, and it's pretty easy to follow up as well. So any character can do that. Obviously faster characters benefit from it better. The only bad thing about the rocket is that it instantly launches, so if you want to have a far ground route, you can't really do that with Jinx, because the rocket needs to come in and launch them for you. Now let's talk about the Chomper. The Chomper is mostly good for pressure. You can put it down and do some fun stuff with your character. Your character might have a fun way to play around with the Chomper, but most of the time you're going to use it in pressure. So one of my favorite scenarios is if I have someone in the corner blocking and I want to keep the pressure, I'll use Chomper there. And with Ahri, I can kind of do her whole like endless overhead mix. So it looks like this. You know, so it's really good to keep the pressure up because it has a lot of blocks done. So usually using it on pressure and spots is really good, especially in the corner. Mid-screen, it doesn't work as well because you're pushing people back. You kind of have to be the person to push the Chomper forward. So the problem with Chomper is that after long combos, there's not much you can really do with it because it kind of just... The hit stun, as you just saw, doesn't keep up between the two hits. So it kind of just ruins your combos for you. So that's why I recommend doing it more on block. Now, this is, like I said at the start, her lockdown is her best thing. Let me show you what I mean by lockdown. Jinx doesn't have many gaps. During that whole string, if you're close enough, there are no gaps. So what's beautiful about that is you could switch over to your other character while that's going on. So for a scenario like this, right, during that whole time, I was able to switch over to Ahri, go to the other side, land, all just from Gatling gun. And that's just one example. you hear a lot of people talk about this, assist level 2, and same thing. During that, I can pretty much go for whatever I want on Ahri, right? And you're still getting the chip damage on top of that. Now, the thing is, people can rapidly parry, so that's why usually when you want to do that type of scenario, you want to have the assist actually hit. So you want the assist to hit, then with the block stun, switch over to the laser, or have any hit and then switch over to the laser. There's a thing in this game where if you switch out, you can keep doing the actions you're doing when you're not the character moving in the front. So that whole string I just did, the Gatling, rocket, zap, you can do it while your character's not on screen. I'll show you right now. So I was playing Ahri, but I was able to do that, right? So what that means is that there's even more lockdown, especially if you're in duos, because it's easier because they can fully control the character while you do that. So essentially, you can even hold them longer with another character doing attacks and mixes while you keep shooting. I don't know the term for it. There probably is a term, but someone hopefully in the comments will know. And then as Jinx, if you're ever going to tag out, let's say you're full screen away, you shot a Rocky, you shot this, you can start throwing Chomper, then switch out. And then you have a Chomper on screen. So as you see, Jinx can complement the other character a lot. And last little tidbit about Jinx, her super when she's dead is absurdly good. For one, that's its chip damage. That's like 80 damage in chip alone. And in Fury, the chip goes even crazier. So now the chip damage, I don't even know how much damage that is, but it is ridiculous. Look how much damage it does while in rage, while in fury, and they don't block. It's almost the same damage. It doesn't go that much farther when you actually get the hits in fury. This is the damage, by the way, normally, just in case you're curious. So it does a little bit more damage on chip when you're in fury than it does on hit normally. The cool part about this super, though, it also OTGs. So if you're ever doing a combo and you want to OTG while Jinx is dead, you can simply just use the super and it will pick them right back up. And similar to the rocket assist, you can always call it, then jump over the player for a mix-up right off the get-go. Her dead super is very good. Hopefully this guide helped you. There's a lot of stuff with Jinx that you need another assist character for. So you have to lab that for your team. I'm sorry. I know I can't go over every character in the roster. If you have any questions, though, feel free to leave them in the comments. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Have a good one.